Hey there, Notus foodies. Welcome back to another segment of Baking with Sherri. Today, I'm going to share a recipe that I've stumbled upon and has me obsessed with its flavors. Maple brown sugar cookies. These are going to have crisp edges. They're going to be chewy in the center, and they're also going to contain maple icing. These are so far my favorite. Now, this recipe does not have any baking powder because we want our cookies to be thin. We want them to be on the thin side and we don't want them to kind of puff up. So there is no baking powder. So first thing is first, we are going to whisk together the flour, baking soda, and the salt, and then we're going to sift them and put them aside. After we've done so, we are going to get the butter and the brown sugar. Using a hand mixer or a stand mixer fitted with a paddle attachment, we're going to cream the butter and brown sugar together on medium speed until smooth. It's going to take about 1 to 2 minutes. You are going to see the colors of the brown sugar and butter getting lighter as they get smoother. Now, I do want to mention that make sure that the butter and the egg is room temperature. The butter is not going to be completely melted nor completely warm, but it is going to be softer and kind of on the cool side. It bakes better when the baking ingredients are room temperature. So as soon as the butter and the brown sugar are creamed and they look smoother and lighter, we are going to add the egg. We are going to beat on high for about 30 seconds until everything is combined. As soon as the egg and the brown sugar and the butter are combined, we are going to get a scraper and we are going to scrape down the sides of the bowls and the bottom, making sure that everything is going to be mixing well together. Then you're going to add maple syrup, vanilla extract, pure vanilla extract, and pure maple extract. We're going to beat on high speed until all combined. Then we are going to start adding the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients slowly. We do this slowly because we don't want to make a huge mess. It's all about patience. As you can see, the dough is coming together. It's looking amazing. As soon as that's done, we are going to fold in the pecans. Make sure you're folding from each side, getting the bottom. This way those pecans are distributed evenly. The dough will be very creamy and soft. That's what we're going for. Soft and creamy, but still they don't really stick into your hands. As soon as you are done folding in the pecans, you're going to cover and chill the dough for about 2 hours in the refrigerator. You can do it for a whole day. If you want to do it up to 3 days, that's fine. Just make sure when you take out the dough from the refrigerator, you're going to give it at least 30 minutes to sit. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, then line baking sheets with parchment paper or a silicone mat. I prefer the silicone mat because you get to use those over and over again. When you chill it, it will get a little harder and it'll be easier to roll into balls. So this is after they've been chilled. I've chilled them for a day. So right now I'm using a 1.5 tablespoon scoop. Then you're gonna roll them and then you're gonna flatten them a little bit. And then you're gonna make sure at least there's 3 inches in between each cookie. This way, when they're in the oven, they don't stick together and they have plenty of room to kind of spread. You're going to bake each batch for about 12 to 13 minutes until slightly browned on the sides. The centers will look very soft. So when you remove the cookies from the oven, you are going to put them on the rack for about 10 minutes because they are still going to be baking. And then as soon as those 10 minutes are done, you're gonna take off the cookies from the baking sheet and then you're gonna put it directly on the rack. So again, you're gonna take the baking sheet and put it on the rack for 10 minutes. And then as soon as the 10 minutes are done, you're gonna take off the baking sheet and then take each cookie separately and put it on the rack so they can cool down completely. There are 2 ways to making the maple icing. The first way is in a small saucepan over low heat, melt the butter and maple syrup together, whisking occasionally. Once the butter has melted, remove from heat and whisk in the sifted confection sugar. Add a pinch of salt and then add a 1/2 teaspoon of maple extract. Now the second way is we're gonna make sure that the butter has been sitting at room temperature for quite a while so it can get soft. And then we are going to sift our sugar. As soon as our sugar is sifted, we're going to set aside. Then I'm going to get a hand mixer. In a small bowl, we're going to put the butter and the maple syrup and we are going to cream them together. Now, you're going to see that they're really not going to cream well. It's not going to blend in. That's okay. It's going to look a little curdled. As soon as you start adding the sugar, the ingredients will come together. As soon as I'm done creaming the butter and the maple syrup, I'm going to add the sugar slowly And as soon as you add the first batch of sugar, you're going to see how it's gonna look already smooth and the ingredients are coming together. When I'm done adding in the sugar, I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of pure maple extract and then blend some more. And that's it. It's super simple. There's 3 ways you can actually add this icing onto your cookies. Just make sure that your cookies are completely cooled. Give them either a couple of hours or a whole day. And the first way is you can just dip the cookie into the icing, or you can get a spoon and drizzle the icing from a spoon onto the cookie, or you can add this icing into a piping bag and then just pipe the icing onto the cookies. Make the icing when you are prepared to actually dip the cookies in the icing. So if your cookies are still hot, don't make the icing yet because this icing will set. When you're done putting the icing onto your cookies, if you want it to set faster, you can actually put the cookies into the fridge. Don't worry, your cookies will not harden. These cookies will stay soft. And that's it. It's actually a very easy, delicious recipe. The maple extract, the maple syrup, and the pecans are such good combination. You guys are gonna love these cookies. The maple syrup kind of makes the cookies crisp on the edges, and the extra pecans crunch in there with the chewy center is going to be amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this segment, and we will see you back again soon.
And don't forget to grab yourself a copy of Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. It is a traditional cookbook that has been rewritten without the bad foods, especially gluten and no oil. It is 300 pages jammed with recipes and a great textbook to follow. And don't forget to check us out on Instagram at Notus Foods. We do post a lot more gluten-free and oil-free recipes. And feel free to message us on there. It is a lot easier for us to contact you. Thank you.